If you have been wondering where to invest money in Nigeria, well, you are the right place, because today we are going to explore the traditional method, the traditional ways of investing money, and even unconventional ways of investing money. So when you talk about investment, it depends on your risk appetite. So in this video, I'm going to arrange it based on the higher risk appetite. Then I work my way down to those who have a low risk appetite. So now let's talk about the first on my list, which is stock and equity investing. If you have the appetite for it, you can go on and invest on blue chip and even mid blue chip stocks that are listed in the Nigeria stock market. So investing in companies that are listed in Nigeria stock exchange can give you tangible return over time. So the thing is, like somebody like Ovia and Elumelu, last week when they announced that they both of them earn about, the other one 25 billion naira and the other one 12 point something billion naira, both of them on, that's UBA and Zenith Bank dividends. People were like, oh yes, this is what it's all about. If you have a higher risk appetite and you can invest in stock is a good way, a good place to invest your money. But I would advise that you diversify your portfolio. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Another thing is important to do your research. So now let's move on to the second one. So the second one is mutual funds. Even though mutual fund have different types. We have the ones that are for low risk appetite people, like something like they have like guarantee income, something like money market fund. But we also have other mutual funds that are mostly based that they mostly invest in equity and stocks. So most of those ones like balance fund and other ones, if you have a high risk appetite, you can explore that. If you don't want to choose an individual stock, I have a video on that. Then if you can't do that one, then you go for money market fund, guarantee income fund, and other mutual funds that are not too high risk. So at the end of the day, you need to know your risk appetite. To invest in this one, of course, you need to look for a mutual fund, a firm that you can rely on. Do your research. There are so many of them. If I start listening, this video will be long. So you do your research. A mutual fund firm you can start your investment with today, and you open an account and you get started. Most of them accept as little as 5,000 naira. So you can't say that because you need to have a large capital to start. 5,000 naira, you can start investing today. So mutual funds aside, of course, if you prefer to invest in dollar, we have a dollar mutual fund too. All these firms, majority of them have this dollar mutual funds. If you also have a dollar that you don't want to convert to naira and you want to invest, you can still do this platform. But before you do that, make sure you do your research, because to be honest with you, there are some dollar funds you invest in Nigeria and you will incur loss. So you have to definitely do your research. Check their performance, the fees, that's the charges, the management fees and everything. I know that past performance does not guarantee that the future performance will be the same or higher, but at least when you watch their past performance, you see, okay, for the past 5 years they've been given at least 5%, not like they are making loss. Then you can proceed with that. So the third on my list is real estate investment. Everybody know is the oldest form of investment that our parents, then they don't even know anything. Most of them don't know anything about fixed deposits and all that. What they did was buy properties and then build houses. So this real estate investment, so you can do a rental property where you build blocks of flat, and then people can then rent and pay you maybe 6 months, 1 year, depending on how you want it and the tenancy agreement. Then another one is commercial property rent. If you have money to buy a property where people can actually rent it for an office, a shop and all that, that will be another one. But another one again, the third one under this property is short let apartment. You can build a property and not a hotel. You will not use it as a hotel, but you furnish these properties and then you rent them out for short period of time. People can pay you. Sometimes you get the money you're supposed to earn for like 6 months on rental, you earn it within 2 weeks in short let apartment. You can list your your property on website like Airbnb, GG and Co, and then you get people to come in and then pay you for short stay. So that's it on the property. Then the next on my list is fixed deposit. if you are if you are familiar with your branch, when it comes to fixed deposit, you can negotiate. That's what a lot of people don't know. If you have enough money to fix, and the good thing about fixed deposit is that just within a month you can pull your money, and if you fix it for 30 days, you need it for 30 days, you fix the money, and then another 30 days you can take the money. So if you have a good rapport with your maybe account officer or your branch, you can always if they give you rates, you can always negotiate. If the capital is high, you can negotiate, and if they accept, fixed deposit is good. The next on my list is government securities. Government securities like Treasury Bills and federal government bond, they are very good source of income, because when you invest in these things, they hardly default. When I invested in the domestic dollar bond, I was expecting the money to drop March 6th. It didn't drop till March 11th, honestly. And I didn't panic. Why? Why didn't I panic? It's simple, because I know that Nigerian government, they may have their flaws, but when it comes to paying the coupons and all that, they usually pay. So government security is one of the best that you can do right now. Nigeria government security, not all government, is one of the best, because like the dollar fund, they gave us the rates, they gave us what, the 9.75. You can't get that rate anywhere in dollar fund in Nigeria. I don't know about any other places, but even people from abroad was sending their money in, and the thing was oversubscribed. So dollar government bond and treasury bills, they have very good option for investment. So if you any of this investment that you are interested in, this thing like the bond, you can go through all this app that allows you to trade stock. They are the one that they will open a CSCS account for you, and they will take care of every other thing for you. So you can start buying bond and trading from the comfort of your own home. For treasury bills, some of them allows you to buy treasury bills from secondary market when you with their app, with their desktop app or maybe phone app. But then if you really want to do treasury bill with small money, you want to invest with small money, like let's say 100,000, you can walk into any bank and tell them, any commercial bank, and tell them that you are interested in treasury bills. They will just give you a form to fill. But if you are not in Nigeria, you can always request by via email, but then you need to have some of them will request that you sign an indemnity form. So we've talked about this one, but then if your risk appetite is big, very large, then the next one you should consider is cryptocurrency. My dear, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because even the bank you trust, they can they can collapse except it's a strong bank. But cryptocurrency, I won't lie you, is very, very volatile, but you can double your money at the same time. But don't go into it without knowing things about it. You need to be informed and get the information, know things, do your research. If it's possible, get a mentor to teach you before you can go into crypto. It's not something you wake up and just start doing immediately. You need to learn it. So the final one on my list is an investment that is been old though. This one is simple. If you are the type that lives in the village, or maybe you have someone that you can trust that lives in the village, you can ask them to buy you like palm oil, melon, that's egusi, and even honey. I have a sister that buys honey to store. She buys it, and when the price goes up, she sell it at a higher price. So at the end of the day, you buy these things, buy them during their season. Like oil, I think is towards March, April. You can get the oil cheap price, and then they can ship it for you to wherever you are, or you store it with them. If you trust them, you can store it with them. Or if you are in the village, or you are in a town where you can buy this thing and then you store it. Imagine someone buying a 20 liters of oil, let's say 20,000 naira, and then When she want to sell it, she sell it 40,000 naira. So that's a double of what you bought it. You can buy a bag of melon. I'm just giving a rough estimate. You can buy a bag of melon for 100,000 naira. Then when you want to sell it, you can sell it 180. And this thing will be between, the period will be around, between the space of 3 to 5 months. You have turned over your money and you are making a high profit. Even there are so many other things you can buy and then you store them. Then when this, is a issue of demand and supply, because these things have season. When the season is no longer there and people are still demanding for it, because we can't stop eating because the palm tree is not making fruit, is not producing fruit at that season. We will still keep eating. So when you buy those things, you store them, and then when the time is right, you sell it. The most important thing to note is that you can't invest in one thing. For instance, if you invest in mutual fund, let's say you invest in one mutual fund, it's important that you spread your risk. Like, I personally don't use one investment firm. I don't do that. I spread my investment, even though my money is small. Even if it's 100,000, I spread it. Let it be 50,000, 50,000, or 45, 45. Spread it so that if this one collapse, or something is wrong with this one, or it's not making profit, the other one will cover it. So, and then you can invest in many things: government bond, fixed deposit, property, anything. All these things I mentioned, you can spread your capital and invest in all those things. And it's also important that you to do your research. And even though you are going to use a financial advisor, it's also important that you do your own research, so that when he's telling you those things, he's explaining these things to you and where to put your money, you too, you have at least a little bit knowledge about that. So those are the places you can invest your money in Nigeria. So it depends on your risk appetite, whether it's stock and equity, real estate, or unconventional one like cryptocurrency and storage investment. Is all up to you. So if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and then subscribe for more investment tips.